Ladies and gentlemen, the results are in. Can I get a drum roll, please? According to WalletHub.com and their quality of life calculator, Arkansas ranks number 42 on their list for best places to retire. That's interesting because I have a lot of people moving here on the regular that are looking to retire. You're doing your research right now trying to figure out, is Northwest Arkansas a great place to retire for you? Well, my friend, I'm glad you're doing that research because if you do go online and look at calculators like WalletHub.com, like USNews.com, they're going to talk about the entire state, right? So looking at Arkansas, according to WalletHub.com, their numbers are Arkansas is ranking at number 42, and no surprise there, Florida is number 1. I also find it interesting that just down the list in their quality of life factor is the state of Minnesota. Minnesota? How can Minnesota be ranked so much higher than Arkansas? You're going to freeze half the year. Well, my friend, it's because Minnesota has phenomenal healthcare. Not that Arkansas doesn't or Florida doesn't or what have you. It just depends on where you're moving when you're looking at the state as a whole. When you're looking at a specific region, you also need to consider the healthcare in that region, the cost of living in that region. And of course, we're going to dig into all of that in this video today. According to multiple sources online, 63 seems to be the average age that U.S. folks decide to retire. And I also found it interesting in my research that the expected age of retirement is always higher than the actual age of retirement. I think people are finally going, I only have so much left. I only have so much time with my kids, with my grandkids, with the hobbies and interests that I want to do. Let me go ahead and retire, take retirement earlier. I'm not a tax advisor, and I'll mention that multiple times throughout this video, but many people are wanting to take retirement early to be able to enjoy the golden years of their life. Of course, you're retiring early, your benefits aren't as great as if you waited a few more years and got full retirement benefits. People retire for multiple different reasons. The number one reason why people retire, believe it or not, is because of their age. Other reasons people have stated that they're retiring is because, 1, they don't feel like they can do the job anymore. 2, they're not happy with their new boss. 3, they want to be around family, or they want to be located centrally in the country. Many people have stated their spouse has retired, or maybe they want to travel with their spouse who is also retired, and so they're taking retirement a little bit early. Another movement that I found out about in my research is the FIRE movement. Maybe you've heard of this. FIRE stands for Financially Independent Retiring Early. Those folks who have had a phenomenal career and are financially independent are choosing to retire early. Maybe they're retiring in their 40s or their 50s and they're deciding, hey, now's the time to be able to take off, to be able to enjoy the rest of my life, to enjoy the grandkids, to enjoy my own hobbies as well. According to Cody Garrett, who is a financial planner, he says that many retirees actually make more money in early retirement than they did while traditionally employed, since they're embracing their unique passions and launch a small business without the fear of financial stability. It's interesting to see that in that felt like as though maybe you were handcuffed doing whatever your other job was, and now you're retiring early to be able to go follow your passions because now you are financially independent and retiring early. You're following the FIRE movement. I would encourage you, my friend, no matter how you're looking or where you're looking or when you're looking to retire, be sure to visit with your financial planner because you want to have money at the end of life. You don't want to have to go back to work. Maybe you do. Maybe you do want to retire and go back. That is another reason that many people have stated they want to retire early is because they want to get away from that paying job, retire, be able to gain benefits, and then go maybe start another business. Go start a home-based business. Go start a business in a new place like Northwest Arkansas that has a need for whatever your skills might be. If you've watched my channel for some time, you know that I like to find stats and facts to help educate you on your decision where you might be coming from or what stage of life you might be finding yourself in. According to nerdwallet.com, the average U.S. household between the ages of 55 and 64 have saved up $537,560. Furthermore, according to nerdwallet.com, those families that are between the ages of 65 and 74 have saved up an average of $609,230. Now, my friend, if you're looking to retire, maybe you're wanting to retire early, or maybe you can't retire where you're currently living. That brings up another good point. The reason why I'm talking about the amount of savings that you have, that the average person has coming to those retirement ages, is because we're also living longer, my friends. Our life expectancy is no longer in the 60s and 70s. We're seeing people living well into their 90s and maybe even the hundreds. So you want to make sure that you have money at the end of life to be able to still enjoy life and not have to go back and get another job. According to many sources that I saw online, most people are not saving enough money. Again, I'm not a financial planner, but I can tell you, would you rather have enough or not enough? I know the answer to that. I know you know the answer to that as well. Of course, I can stand here and tell you multiple different reasons, multiple different facts and stats as to why people retire, when they retire, how they retire. But you came to this video to find out, why are people retiring in Northwest Arkansas? What's there? What's so glamorous about the northwest corner of the state of Arkansas? Well, my friend, let's dig into some of that. Many people want to be centrally located in the United States, maybe because they have kids on either side of the coast, or maybe Minnesota down to South Texas, and they want to be centrally located to be able to fly to wherever their kids or their grandkids are located. 3 of our major employers, J.B. Hunt, Tyson, and of course the world's largest retailer, Walmart, are located right here in Northwest Arkansas, and they're bringing a lot of employees back to their newly renovated or brand new home offices. So a lot of the younger working population is getting moved here by their employers. Many times their older parents end up following them to, 1, be around the kids, but also 2, get to play with the grandkids. For those who are retiring and still want a very active adult lifestyle, my friend, if you're into golf, biking, hiking, lakes, fishing, we have all of that here in Northwest Arkansas for you to enjoy. No matter your age, you can still get around Northwest Arkansas and enjoy every single one of those activities. A friend of mine who was a police officer for many years in California decided to retire early and took his pension and moved here to Arkansas. Now, the cost of living where they came from was so significantly high, they were able to cash out their position in California and move here to Arkansas and retire early. I believe my friend is in his mid-50s, and yeah, I might be misrepresenting his age, but I know he's in his 50s and retired early. For them, it was an opportunity to take their cash equity position and buy here and start living their retirement years earlier than where they could have if they had stayed in California. There are all sorts of activities to do in Northwest Arkansas. We talked about some of the outside activities. Inside activities, there's movie theaters, bowling alleys, there are theaters, music festivals, museums all over Northwest Arkansas that you can go to inside to enjoy inside activities. If you're concerned about costs where you're living, as you should be, because again, we talked about how much money people typically save for their retirement years. According to MoneyWise.com, Arkansas ranked the 4th cheapest state to retire in the United States. I know a lot of folks that are in your position that are looking to retire are looking at taxes. Maybe you're no longer an income earner and you're thinking about, well, income tax isn't a big deal to me, but I want to make sure that my Social Security or my pension or other types of incomes that I am receiving, how do those get taxed? Let's talk about that for a second. Still not a tax advisor. Arkansas has no inheritance or estate tax. Arkansas does not tax Social Security benefits. Arkansas has some of the lowest property taxes in the country. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, Anthony, well, Arkansas has some of the highest sales tax in the country. I'm glad you're thinking about that, my friend. Let's go ahead and do a little example. The number 1 place to retire in the United States is Florida. And the number 1 place to retire inside of Florida, according to many online resources, is the Villages. The Villages are located inside of 3 different counties, all with 1% county tax. Florida has a state sales tax of 6%, so a total sales tax of 7%. Now let's come over here to Bentonville, Arkansas, one of the most expensive places to live in the entire state, at 9.5%. You may be thinking, holy cow, 9.5% compared to 7%? My friend, we always have to consider what it is that we are looking at. Florida property tax, high. Arkansas property tax, low. Northwest Arkansas property tax, probably going to be a little bit higher than the rest of the state. But let's go back to our tax example. You're choosing between the Villages in Florida retire, or you're choosing here in Bentonville, Arkansas to retire. My friend, let me do the math for you. Let's say you're a heavy consumer and you buy $50,000 worth of consumer goods every year. The difference between 9.5% and 7% is 2.5%. I know, simple math, right? Let's apply that to our $50,000 example. That's to say that your sales tax on $50,000 worth of goods is going to be $1,250 less expensive in Florida. Oh, so you might be thinking, well, it's 2%. Well, it actually only equivalates to $1,250 if you're spending $50,000 a year on consumer goods. Most people are not. So my friend, that being said, you have to look again at all of these. You can't look state per state. You really need to look city per city. And of course, talk to a local real estate agent to figure out where that's going to be for you. Maybe you're already in the right town. Maybe you need to just move a state over, a state down, or a state up, what have you. You have to do the comparison that makes sense for you, my friend. Of course, you could go on to Forbes.com and look at their cost of living calculator. Your income, again, if you're no longer an income earner, isn't going to be a line item that you probably need to take a look at. But as far as the living expenses, your sundries, your taxes, your property taxes, all of those types of factors, all codified together, what makes sense for you specifically? Let's keep rocking and rolling, my friend. According to Arkansas-EDC.com, if you are a military retiree and receiving pay from them, it's possible that you could be exempt from state taxes depending on your level of disability. You could also be exempt from state tax on your homestead. If you are 65 and older, again, depending on where you go and when you're claiming this benefit, as a retiree over the age of 65, you can also freeze your property tax amount. Now, of course, talk to your title, talk to your lender and your real estate agent to know the details on that. But that's another benefit to you if you're looking to retire in Arkansas. Depending where you are looking in Northwest Arkansas, there's retirement centers. If you're looking for a senior center in Benton County, well, there's one in Bentonville, Gravette, Rogers, Gentry, Lowell, and Siloam Springs all have a senior activity center or a senior wellness center. If you're looking for a senior center in Washington County, you can also look in Springdale, Prairie Grove, Lincoln, Greenland, Fayetteville, Farmington, and Elkins all have senior centers or senior activity centers. I find that my more well-seasoned clients like yourself are concerned about crime. I would encourage you to go to crimegrade.org and type in a specific city in Northwest Arkansas and find what the crime is like here compared to wherever you might be coming from. People also later in life, they're also telling me the things that I hear when I'm doing a needs-wants analysis on their home. They're wanting a single level home so they can do all of their living on one level and not have to go up and downstairs. There are multiple factors, my friend. Of course, let's have a conversation as to what makes sense to you. If I can be of service, one thing I would encourage you to do is down here in the comments is my relocation guide. I don't usually ask for this in the videos, but if you are retiring and looking to move to Northwest Arkansas, would you do me the honor and click on the link below? It'll take you to another webpage. You'll fill out your information and I will mail you a packet of information talking to you about what life is like here in Northwest Arkansas. A couple bonus things for you to know. Many people are telling me, Anthony, I want to retire in an area where I can enjoy all 4 seasons. You know, many people retire to Florida where it's hot and humid. Many people retire to Arizona where it's hot, hot, hot. And a lot of people that are moving from Arizona or from Florida tell me, I want to see all 4 seasons. I want to see the leaves change. I want to see a little bit of snow each year, but not be snowed in like I was in Minnesota or New York for years and months on end. If that sounds like you, my friend, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your time. And now you know a little bit more about what life is like in and around Bentonville. Thanks for watching.